Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. Today I'm here to talk about a book that I am so excited to talk about. It is The Cowboy Whisperer by Sabrina Sol. Sabrina Sol is an author that I started following in recent years and I've just really fallen in love with. This particular series is this book is number 2 in the Rancho Lindo series. It's a series set in a Mexican American ranch, I believe in California. So we're following the brothers in this family as they fall in love. Book number 1 I really enjoyed, but I think book number 2 is even better than the first one. In this one we are following Tomas and Veronica. Veronica is a Mexican equestrian. She is had 3 years before been in the process of qualifying for the Olympics when she fell off the horse and had this accident, and it's taken 3 years for her to get back on the saddle and keep trying. Her goal is to make it to the Olympics. It was her mother's dream and she's kind of fulfilling her mother's dream in this way, but she's at Rancho Lindo to escape the prying eyes of the public. There are a lot of eyes on her because of the 3 years that she spent recovering from the accident, and everybody's wondering how this next competition is going to go for her. And so she's at this ranch to escape all of that scrutiny. Tomas, on the other hand, is one of the brothers in the Rancho Lindo family. This ranch has been in the family for generations, and so it has this long history. In the first book, we learned a lot of the background of the ranch and the family. In this one, we get a little bit less of that, but there is an introduction to it for anybody that didn't read the first one, so you can jump right into book number 2 without having read book 1. However, if you read book 1, we do get to see the couple from book 1 in the story, and that's pretty neat. So these kind of like little nuggets of surprises for readers who are following the series. But again, it's a standalone. You can jump in at any time. It's a romance novel, so we know what's going to happen between Tomas and Veronica. The thing that I liked about their romance story is that it's a slow, quiet burn. They're really, for like half of the book, it's them getting to know each other, and they didn't like each other at first. He thought that Veronica was this snobby rich girl who like didn't know how to do anything for herself. Veronica thought that Tomas was this like grumpy, bad-mannered horse guy. But slowly, as she spends more time on the ranch, as they spend more time together, they get to know each other and they realize that actually they have a lot in common. Then something happens that makes them do a small bit of fake dating. That was quite a surprise for me in the story. I didn't realize that was coming, but it's really great. It's also just a small portion, so there's not a ton of like miscommunication or even a lot of the fake dating itself. Like it's a really sweet, slow burn story. It's also closed door, so there's no explicit sex scenes, and it's just a really sweet, nice, low-paced story. Now, it does not mean that there aren't heavier topics in here. Both Tomas and Veronica have been dealing with trauma. The trauma of like having lost her mother when she was little, of the accident, of the thing that caused the accident, kind of. The lead up to the accident. So there's trauma that she's having to deal with. He has the trauma of a failed relationship in the past, long-term relationship. After that relationship failed, he just has been dedicating himself to the family ranch, to the horses, and that's been great for him. But now that Veronica has entered his life, there's the possibility of more there, and so it's just very sweet. Now, other heavier topics and content warnings to think about is that the death of a parent is discussed. That happened ages ago, off the page, but if you read book number 1, you know that the patriarch of the family was diagnosed with cancer in the first book, so that comes up again in the second book. It looks like this will be an ongoing story in the series, and so you don't get a lot of focus on it or resolution in this particular book, but that is discussed, like someone undergoing cancer treatment is discussed in this book. And then there's the past trauma that both of them are dealing with and not really going to therapy for. They're going to deal with it as they like fall for each other, but not in a professional mental health, going to a professional kind of way. So beware of those things, if those might be triggers for you. Otherwise, I think this is a really sweet book and one that is very much worth your time, especially if you want to read cowboy romances in a contemporary setting featuring Mexican American cowboys. I did receive this book as a free advanced reader's copy via NetGalley. However, there was no obligation for me to discuss this on my channel. I just really wanted to come on here and talk about this book. If you've read this book, if you plan on reading this book, if you have any questions, any comments at all, leave them down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.